Hey everybody, what's up? It's your boy Vitamin M, and today I'm going to be starting my first ever Let's Play. Today we're going to be playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Definitely, I think, my favorite Sonic game, I have to say. Definitely my favorite out of the Genesis games, for sure. Well, I know that might get some heat from some other folks, especially over Sonic 2, but I definitely really like this one for sure. I just really like the graphics, of course, and then the movements with Sonic. I really especially like the power-ups and the stories, and, I mean, of course, the characters. Definitely do have to say, Knuckles is quite a character. What a dude. But, anyways, for those of you who don't know, this was actually a game released in, I believe, 1994, and the first half of it was actually released as Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And then the second half was released as Sonic & Knuckles as a lock-on cartridge. But without further ado, just a little bit of a history lesson there, but without further ado, let's get started. Now, right off the bat here, you can pick your character. Yes, I know, I've played this game a lot, but that's okay. But anyways, right off the bat here, you can pick your save slot here, and you can pick your characters who you want to play as here. Or you can just do a game with no save and pick your character there. But anyways, let me go through each of these characters here. So first, you can play as Sonic by himself. What this ultimately does is you just obviously have Sonic by himself. I know some folks familiar with Sonic 2 really like having Tails with him or just having Sonic by himself, but Sonic is definitely a lot of fun to play. He's the one that gets to use the power-ups to the best of their ability, and I think he's my favorite character to play as in this game, because I'll go through the power-ups later, but they're definitely a lot of fun to use. He's got a little bit of an invincibility. You press the jump button again while in the air, you know, spin dash, and all those moves are back once again. It's just you're not going to have that functionality you did with Tails, with flying around and everything. Now, I know you can obviously see all the Chaos Emeralds around the characters here and everything that's going on with that. I don't want to spoil too much about the story, but it's definitely really fun. I don't want to spoil too much though. But anyways, that's really Sonic there. Next you can play as Tails. Now Tails, he doesn't jump as high as Sonic, but the pluses with him are really considerable if you want to play as him. He can fly around for about 8 seconds or so, and then he'll start to get tired and you can't go any higher. You can go higher when you fly by tapping the jump button. He can also swim underwater with using the same way you would to fly. I don't think he gets tired though, but he can definitely do a lot for sure, and he's definitely a lot of fun to play as. Really there's not really any downsides with any of these characters. It just depends on how you want to play. Oh, the downsides with him, and this goes for Knuckles too, is they can't use the power-ups to the best of their ability. The power-ups, 3 in particular in this game, will allow you to do 3 special things that really only can do with Sonic. But they do have a lot of the same properties that they would if you did play as Sonic. But just consider that for sure. Tails is definitely pretty fun to play as. He's not, I would say he's my least favorite, but he's definitely still a lot of fun to play. And then finally you can play as Knuckles. Now this man right here, Knuckles is a beast. I have to say, he is probably my favorite Sonic character, just with what he can do. Now, obviously, Sonic jumps the highest in this game, and I think I forgot to mention this earlier, Sonic cannot also swim, neither can Knuckles, and only Tails can. But regardless, Knuckles can glide using his dreadlocks, he can bust open walls and different things with his knuckles, obviously, and, you know, he's still got his spin dash and everything that comes with that, and the dude can climb walls. He's got spikes on his knuckles there that he can use. The man is incredible with what he can do. I mean, he is just a blast to play as. Definitely not my favorite to play as, but he's definitely my favorite Sonic character, I would have to say. He's a ton of fun. But that's all 3 characters there, and you can also choose to play, as you can see over here to the left, as Sonic with Tails. Now what this really does is you're playing as Sonic, and ultimately you can grab onto Tails and get him to fly around, that you can fly around to other areas that you couldn't before. Honestly, this doesn't really make a huge difference for me. I know this can for other players for sure. But honestly, it's more annoying than anything just to see Tails die, even though he can get a couple bosses. It hits on the bosses when he jumps and everything such as that. But yeah, that's that's pretty much all the characters there. And another thing to note, depending on which character you pick, decides which storyline that you ultimately play. Now, if you play a Sonic or Sonic with Tails, you're going to play the full story, including the true final boss. I don't want to spoil too much, but that is the case where you'll do the full true story. If you play as Tails, you'll do everything Sonic does, except the true final boss. Now, if you do Knuckles, you have a completely different story, but pretty much everything is the same besides a couple sprite changes. I don't want to ruin too much before I get there, but he will have a completely different final boss and different storyline for sure. But yeah, that's pretty much it between all the characters and everything, as much as I can think of. So I'm actually going to go ahead and start a new game here. I'm going to pick actually Sonic and Tails for this. So this is going to be pretty fun. So yeah, let's do it. And here we are at Angel Island Zone. Now, really lush place. This place is really fun. Gosh, just really love the music. Now, before I get into the story here, just, you know, a couple basic controls. You can obviously jump with the jump button. You know, on Genesis, there were 3 buttons to jump. Really pick your favorite. But, but anyways, Sonic, you can do a little bit of invincibility in the air just for a split second there with the white, as you can see there, if you press the jump button again. And I'll get into the power-ups and other things later that'll happen. Down in the jump button is the spin dash. That comes in really handy to give yourself a speed boost in place. That's everything really so far. And if I look up, if I'm playing as Sonic and Tails, I can actually do this. So I can press the jump. I think this should work. Come on. I can press the jump button again. Or no. Okay, he won't do it. But anyways, there is a way to have Tails get up and fly, and then you can grab onto Tails, and you can control Tails eventually to just really fly around and everything for about 8 seconds, I believe, or so. And as you can see in the top left corner, you got your score, and then you got your time. You have 10 minutes to get through each act. So that means if the buzzer hits 10, then you lose a life, and you go back to the last checkpoint. And number of rings, as you can see, rings is blinking there. For those of you not familiar with the Sonic game, rings are basically how you stay alive. If you have no rings and you get hurt by something such as spikes or an enemy or a boss, then you die and lose a life. So you definitely want to be holding on to rings. You can lose your rings if you get hit by something, but you can recover them typically, and they'll kind of be thrown all over the place and everything. But with that, it's going to move on. So we're going to go real fast over here. So obviously, you know, you just kind of run around and jump and everything such as that. But actually, here's our first really plot device right here. So we've got these monitors right here, and as you can see, Tails kind of comes off screen and he'll come back eventually. That just really annoys me more than anything. But you have these monitors here which can do different things. So you can jump on them, and this one right here with the rings, that'll give you 10 rings right there. Those can be pretty handy. This one right here with the shoe, this is the super sneaker. So as you can see, the music's getting a lot faster here. And you're going to be moving really fast now. You're going to be moving a lot faster, everything. Oh, and if you press down while you're rolling, then you can roll on the ground and typically hit some enemies and different things such as that. But you're probably wondering what this thing is right here. Well, this is a giant ring. Let's jump inside. Welcome to bonus stage! I know. But anyways, these are the bonus stages in Sonic 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Knuckles. So how these work is you want to collect the blue spheres and avoid the red spheres here. You want to get all of the blue spheres in order to get a special prize at the end, which, trust me, you really do want to nab what's at the end of the rainbow here, essentially. But as you can see, the best way to go about this is to make the perimeter around these groups of blue spheres, and then they will all eliminate in the center. That way you just have to get the least amount of blue spheres and not go over all of them, and really reduce your chances of running into a red sphere. Now these like this, after you touch a blue sphere, it'll turn into a red sphere. Don't touch the red spheres, otherwise you get kicked out of the stage, and you don't get that reward which you really want. Now, if you go around the perimeter like I'm doing, you can actually get rings from the blue spheres that go away, and if you collect all of the rings that are available in these stages, you will get a perfect, which will give you a lot of points, and before I was so rudely interrupted by that sound, that was actually the sound of a, that lets you know that you gotta continue, which we'll see later on at the screen after this here. But if you get all the rings, you'll get a perfect. And really, in some of these stages, you will have to go out of your way to get some of the rings. They just won't be appearing after you go around the perimeter or something like that. So just keep that in mind as you're going about this here. And as you can see, obviously, you're going a lot faster as the stage progresses. So just be really careful, time your movements well. You know, you're moving along the edges of these squares on the floor here. So with that, yeah, just go ahead and grab the last 4 here. And that's it. That's the end of the stage. Sonic got a Chaos Emerald. Yes, you want to grab these. You really do. There are 7 of these in the game, and it allows you to actually turn into Super Sonic, Super Tails, or Super Knuckles. If you just heard that sound there, at every increment of 50,000 points, you get an extra life. So that's a pretty good bonus if you get a perfect score, for sure. That is your reward, which is really nice. Come on. But anyways, Chaos Emeralds, you really do want to grab those, because those will make your life a lot easier if you can get all those. In Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, you just have to get those 7, but then it works a little different in this game, which I'll explain later. Much later. But grab all those as you can. And as you can see, we've got some awesome music trailing us right now, and we're actually, this is the invincibility power-up right now, so basically the Starman from Mario. And this is a checkpoint right here. If you have so many rings, I believe it's 25 or so, you'll be able to have a sparkly ring show up, let's say that. And you'll be able to play a bonus game. So this is the one with the, I guess the pulsating balls, kind of like pinball a little bit off the edges there with the pinball flippers. But yeah, so basically you want to time your jump button presses enough to where you can kind of slingshot off of the pulsating balls right here. You want to just work your way to the top of this area right here. And those other little smaller pulsating balls, those can give you some bonuses right here. So I actually just got one of the 3 main power-ups in the game here, and I just got an extra life. Well, just like Mario, if you get 100 coins, you get an extra life. Well, in this, if you get 100 rings, good job, you got an extra life. But yeah, so that's one of the bonus stages right there. That one I think is my favorite. It's just really easy. After a while, like, I was terrible at Sonic, and then some monitors, yeah, they do have an extra life. I used to be really bad at, I mean, I still am. I just played this game a lot. And, you know, that one's definitely my favorite, for sure. So we're going real fast here, but those bonus games are definitely really handy. But grab those checkpoints if you can. And it looks like we got our first mid-boss here. And we're going to try to take him out, but... Oh my gosh! No! What the heck? Alright, well, now the place is on fire. Okay. Alright. But it's a good thing we had that fire shield there. So, while we're in this stage again, let me explain the power-ups here. So, if you can see right now, I've got this flaming shield around me. That is the fire shield in this game. It allows you to be invincible to things with fire that can hurt you. And with Sonic, if you press the jump button in the air, it'll actually give him a little bit of a homing attack where he'll just speed forward if he's in the air. This blue one right here, which makes a funny sound when you get it, this is the water shield. Now, basically, I can't really demonstrate this now, but if you press the jump button in midair, it'll give him the ability to pretty much bounce like a ball, which is pretty helpful sometimes. You can actually really use that to get some good airs at some points. But the biggest perk with this, with Sonic, is it allows him to breathe underwater. As you saw, some of those bubbles that you can get, some of those are 1-ups. but that's the biggest perk with the water shield for Sonic, is it allows him to breathe underwater. So I want to go down here, and go down here, and yeah, that's the biggest perk for him. The third and the final main power-up is the lightning shield. Now, that one is by far my favorite. Now, let me explain why. Now, if you go around some of the rings that you come across with the lightning shield, they will be magnetized and attracted to you, so you don't have to necessarily touch them to grab them, which is really, really nice. And with Sonic, it allows him to get a double jump, so it allows him to really get a lot more air and really increases movement everywhere. And plus, it's just fun to have the double jump, and really like the sound it makes too. Plus, I'm a really big fan of electricity. What can I say, you know? But, yeah. So that's really the main three power-ups, and basically Sonic gets the full potential of them with those mid-air things, as I was talking about, because basically Tails is flying and Knuckles gliding pretty much trumps those abilities. But let's go back up here. Let's fall down, and we got another one of those bonus rings, as you saw earlier. And we got another Blue Sphere stage here, so we got another chance at a Chaos Emerald. These early Blue Sphere stages really aren't that bad whatsoever. They're really, really not that hard. It's really the later ones you want to worry about. Those get pretty tough. I know in the newer games, especially Sonic Mania, those get pretty tough. And they do a really good job of just messing with your brain, for sure. But if you saw there, I don't think I went into detail with these, but the white spheres with the red stars. Now, if you hit those, what those will actually do is they will just bounce you back, and you'll be going backwards, and the only way to correct yourself is to press forward. It can be pretty annoying, but, you know, have no fear if you can correct yourself there. Yeah. Oh, crap. Oh, shoot. Man, I just... Oh, man, I really zoned out there. I totally messed that up. But now, the music is different now on Angel Island here, and now the place is pretty desolate. Flamed up. Oh no! I lost my water shield. That sucks. Zipline! And there it is. There's the lightning shield. Definitely my favorite power-up, I have to say, in this game. Definitely a lot of fun. But, yeah, we're just running around here. Gonna get some 10 more rings. As you saw, the rings are magnetized towards me. So, that'll be fun. I highly suggest grabbing that flame shield for what's coming up here. Because we've got our first boss fight. Now this is the first mid-boss right here, and as you can see, he spits out fire, which is going to be really helpful to not be hurt by that if you got the fire shield. But really, really easy. These bosses aren't terrible. Now, this is pretty much your goalpost right here. So you can just have it jump around to get more points and whatnot, but if it lands on certain areas on the ground, well, some monitors may pop up. I don't remember exactly where they are and everywhere, but they can be pretty helpful for the next area. But Sonic got through Act 1, and now we're moving on to Angel Island Act 2. So in this game, I think there's technically 14 zones, and each of them has, most of them will have 2 acts each. But we got another bonus stage here. So we're moving on to this next one right here. Okay. And yeah, this one's not too bad. This one is pretty easy right here. For sure. But, actually, I want to talk a little bit about the history of this game. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, this was actually first released as Sonic the Hedgehog 3, excuse me. So basically the first half of the game, the first 6 acts, were completed and put on one cartridge and then released. The reason they couldn't do the full game was believed due to time constraints and shipping costs, and that really stopped them from being able to have the full game on one cartridge. But it kind of worked out for them. And then they released Sonic and Knuckles, I believe, in 1995. And it was what was called a lock-on cartridge. So what it allowed you to do was, with certain other Sonic games or Genesis games, it allowed you to have some greater functionality. But Sonic and Knuckles in and of itself had the remaining, I believe, 8 zones in the game. And actually, on boot up, you could pick between if you want to play as Sonic or Knuckles. So Knuckles actually first appeared in Sonic 3, but he was first playable in Sonic and Knuckles. And let me tell you, I definitely played as I definitely played as Knuckles more in Sonic and Knuckles. He was just a blast. But I used to be really bad at that game, but now, you know, really enjoy this game now. And there we go. So now we got our third Chaos Emerald. Excuse me, second. If I didn't miss the first one, that second one there. Man. And we gotta continue. Okay, all right. I'll take that. You know, W's come in all shapes and sizes, and we take what we can. You know. But yeah. So basically, as you notice. Oh, and then the other thing too about the other power-ups, Lightning Shield and Fire Shield. If you fall in water, they will go away. It really stinks. Now we got a Water Shield. So now Sonic can breathe underwater now. You don't have to worry too much about drowning or anything after a while. Which, believe me, that's not the way... Okay, I thought I was going to get poked there. That's not the way you want to go whatsoever. That's not how you want to lose. Lose a life, period. It's not fun. But, you know, I'm playing Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and how that physically worked with the Genesis cartridges were... Basically, what you would do is, as I mentioned earlier, Sonic and Knuckles was released as a lock-on cartridge. So what this meant was you had to actually put Sonic 3 in the slot with Sonic and Knuckles, and when you booted up the entire game, it would be the full game, actually. So it would be Sonic 3 and Knuckles, and you would get all the, you know, playability that I have now. Okay, I think I can fly up here. Okay, Tails is not gonna let me do it. Okay, Tails, can I? Dude, come on. How you get him to fly? I won't worry about it too much. I'm not really a huge stickler for him flying around, so that's not a big deal for me. Anyways, you would lock on the cartridge with it, and you get the full functionality game, and this would allow you to pretty much pick your character. But as you can see, now we have yellow sparkles on this one. So now we got another bonus stage. This is kind of the casino pinball game of sorts, and you try to lay it on the line to get more rings and everything such as that. So it kind of really is helpful to collect those rings around the slots here, but yeah, so obviously you want to go for jackpot. Each time you get bar on the slots, it'll give you 2 rings each, which is pretty nice. Continues are really easy to get in this. I think you only have to get about 10 rings or so. I'm not sure. And how you get out is if I'm touching those blue squares at the bottom there. If you touch them for so long, they will eventually become yellow and then red, and then they'll turn into gold. Which you want to be careful if you're just trying to go for the jackpot or any rings or anything. Eggman, I think if you get him on the jackpot, you'll lose 100 rings, basically all your rings. And you can press the R1 there for reverse. And yeah, it's just basically a way to get rings, that's it. But as I was saying, it was released that would give you the full functionality of the game if you played in lock-on mode, essentially. Now, there are actually some other games that you could use to get some greater functionality if you loaded them up with Sonic and Knuckles. One of them is actually the fan favorite Sonic the Hedgehog 2, as I've been really talking about this whole time, I guess. And I want to go back here. Because we got another secret ring right here. We got another bonus stage right here. So let's grab these blue spheres, as I'm talking more about what you can do with the lock-on cartridge of Sonic and Knuckles. So Sonic 2, what it allowed you to do is on boot up, if you remembered, it was basically, you could pick between Sonic or Tails to play as, or Sonic and Tails, where you just pretty much played as Sonic. But with Sonic and Knuckles, what it allowed you to do is play as Knuckles in Sonic 2, actually, which was pretty neat. And it actually gave players a new way to kind of explore the game and obviously play as a new character. And let me tell you, that's definitely really fun to actually do, because once again, I really like Knuckles. He's definitely really cool. And I believe there were a couple other games, including the original Sonic the Hedgehog, where if you booted up, you basically went to a screen that said, you thought you could. It's like, you know, you're not supposed to use that cartridge. But I believe if you put in a secret button combination, you could actually pick a random number or so, or something like that, and you would get to play endless blue sphere stages that were randomized by the game. And I think that's pretty much it. But we got our third Chaos Emerald here. Not doing too bad. We got 4 more to go. And it's actually the first 6 zones that you want to really get this 7 Chaos Emeralds here. Because later on, I'll explain later, we're going to have to do some more challenges in order to play a Super Sonic, or Super Tails, or Super Knuckles whatsoever in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It works a little bit differently than in the individual games. But trust me, the plot with it, the plot device, and how they go about it is definitely really, really cool, I have to say. So now, yeah, we'll get some more bonuses and stuff, and water shield. See, you can really bounce off enemies, and that'll give you a lot of air with that, which is really helpful. But yeah, grab those Chaos Emeralds and stuff, and we're going to check out over here. Okay. Alright, I'll play this game. I do want to advise picking up that fire shield, though, for this next boss. Or, excuse me, what is up ahead? This next boss up here. So, I'm just going to keep that in mind. Oh, and I think I forgot to mention this, but there's that beam at the bottom there. If you don't go high enough and you get caught in it, it kicks you out of the stage. So, no big deal, but it's just, those bonus stages are really easy and nice ways to get more rings and some power-ups if you want. There is one more bonus stage we haven't seen quite yet. The 2 you've already seen are actually from Sonic and Knuckles, but we're going to try to outrun this guy right here. Oh my gosh. Oh! No! Come on, keep running, Sonic. Keep running. No! Tails! No! This is why I find this just funny and kind of annoying, but keep running here. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. You know him, you love him. It's Dr. Eggman. Alright. Now, Dr. Eggman, in this game, he's not hard. Any of his bosses are really, really easy. Just 8 hits, that's it. Really, really simple. This one, make sure you don't fall off of the bridge there at the very beginning. When he shoots the bridge down, trust me, that is never a fun way to lose, especially on the very first Dr. Eggman fight. Not fun at all. Like I said, have the fire shield because he'll shoot at you and he'll go in and out of the waterfall, just kind of move around. Just, you want to be careful in this boss fight, but Eggman's boss fights are not really hard at all in this game. But yeah, let's free our animal buddies, and Sonic got through Act 2, but Tails didn't make it there. I think he just died. Oh man. What the heck? Oh, there he is. But oh shoot. No! Oh gosh, Knuckles. Oh man. Yes, Knuckles is an antagonist. But he is an antagonist in this game. But yeah, so yeah, that was Angel Island Zone, and now we're in Hydra City Zone right here. And I think that'll actually be it for this episode here. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys, and next time we'll be kicking it here in Hydra City Zone. Definitely a fun place. I mean, this music is just jazzing up in here. We're going to have a fun time. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. See you guys.